live. Hey, everybody, welcome to our daily success call. New week. It's Monday, April 27th, 2020. For those of you who are new here to our community, hopefully you know who I am. I am John Lavenia, and I am here with you each day. Let me just look at the YouTube thing, make sure that's all doing what it's supposed to do. There it is. It is doing its thing. Okay, great. I want to go ahead and I want to see which of my friends have joined us here today. I can only fit a handful of you on the screen, but I see Carol Ann and there's Destiny. Hey, Destiny, good to see you. There's Charles. Welcome, Wendy, Lynette, David. Hey, there's John Hyder. Nafula, good to see you. You're looking great. All right, Dele, welcome. Jeff, Susie,
hello,
Diane,
hello,
and John. There's Diane and
Hi,
John,
John.
shoulder to shoulder right there. Good to see you guys. And of course, Gail and Gregory, welcome. Everyone, we're going to go ahead and we're going to have a fun little, somebody's got their hand raised right now, US04.us. Not sure who that is. We're going to go ahead and lower that hand. But how you guys doing today? I hear we got a lot of coaching sessions getting ready to happen here. Yeah? What's going on? We were just having that conversation. You know, on that note, I want to go ahead and give you guys some feedback I just got from the Australian office, from the head coaches over there who oversee the entire operation. They know lots of stuff about Amazon, a lot more than me about Amazon. And so they had a couple of things they said I could put my attention on to help our new members out. There was some talk last week of being in a bit of a rush to set up your Amazon sellers account. Those of you who were here with us last week, you know that towards the end of the week, we had some people talking about, hey, Amazon may be changing some of its guidelines and what have you. So should we be in a big hurry to set up an Amazon account? Well, Blue Sky recommends that you go ahead and get that stuff done, right? It's not like you're here to just stand on ceremony. We got a lot of Brits here, so I use a lot of British terms these days. So I actually had to ask what that meant at one point. Like, I'm American. What does it mean to stand on ceremony? And an English person said, you know, like the Windsor, you know, the guard, like the changing of the guard, they're standing there perfectly still and they're holding their, whatever they're holding and right, they're wearing the hat. So that's like standing on ceremony. I'm like, oh, okay, I got it. But so no, we don't need to delay that. We also don't want to rush into it. And the consideration was that some people are talking about setting up a personal account, or is it better to do like a professional business account? Is it better to have our entities first and then set up our Amazon sellers account? Or because now we're in such a big rush, just set up a personal account just as an individual and then change it later. So Blue Sky does not and cannot take a position on that for tax and legal reasons and all this. That's something that you can choose to do either way. I know the consensus here in our group has been, let's go ahead and create an LLC or an LTD. Let's go ahead and create an entity. And then let's go through the process of setting up the kind of Amazon seller business we want at the outset, rather than trying to change later and then maybe getting, you know, suspended or some problem with the account, right? If you've got time to set it up right at the outset, and you do, if you're new here, right? Well, then set it up right, the way you would like it to be moving forward. Okay, so again, that's their input on that. Do what you like, but don't be too hasty with how you set stuff up. Okay, so let's see here. Somebody is raising their hand again. us04web.zoom.us. You have a comment. I'm not sure who that is. Okay, you guys can still hear me okay? Are we good? Yes, can I get a nod? Yeah, okay, thank you.
I hear you.
Very good.
We can hear you.
Very good. So I'm going to go ahead and lower your hand again. I think somebody's just clicking on buttons, having fun with buttons. So your hand is now lowered. US04 Web. By the way, if you could change your name in your Zoom so that I know who I'm addressing, because I don't know that you were born as us04web.zoom.us. That almost sounds like something the Grand Imperial, what was that, like in Star Wars, where babies are born into the Empire and they're not actually given names, they're given numbers and stuff, right? I don't know if you guys know that, but stormtroopers are actually people underneath those uniforms. and they don't have names.
I
As
hope
in,
he's not someone just crashing our Zoom meeting. That's been known to happen.
okay. We have somebody crashing our Zoom meeting. Oh, well, it's members only here. This is just for us, Gail.
Yeah,
It's all
you know,
good.
you hear about people being able to crash into the Zoom meeting. He doesn't have his microphone showing, even when you turned us all off, and
Okay.
he's not reacting to anything, so I don't know.
Okay. Well, I got it handled. I got it handled. Oh, somebody, there's two people logged in as me. So that's interesting. Somebody is on my host account. I see. I see. Okay. So something very interesting going on. Nina, if you could look into that. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm not sure if somebody else is logged into our Zoom account, but that could actually be. All right. So getting on with it. That was the first announcement. The other thing is, for the benefit of all of our brand new members, there's been some talk of how soon should I contact or schedule a coach. Okay. And typically that's going to be a couple weeks down the road. Okay. So you want to get through 4 modules. Okay. So 4 modules of your Blue Sky program, and then you will have selected some products and you will be on with a coach, right? You'll select one. And I wanted to invite, was it Heather? Who was it that was talking about having a great coach experience? Heather Richmond, right? Heather, would you like to come out here and just talk a little bit about, because now you're at that stage where you're actually meeting with the coach. We've got some brand new people here who are wondering, about all that. Maybe you can enlighten them a little bit as to what you just experienced. I overheard a little bit before the meeting started.
Sure. Mark was talking about his experience first, and he and I have the same coach. There's lots of them there. I read through pretty much all of the profiles to find one that I really sort of I thought would be a good one for me. And that's what I would encourage everyone to do, because if you're in the UK, there's 3 or 4 that are in the UK that you can choose from. There's some in New Zealand, there's some in Australia, there's a few in the States. Stephen was the only one that I could find anyway that was in Canada. And yeah, I waited, I followed Sophie's directions exactly. They, finish the first 4 modules, start feeling comfortable with the tools that that we use, like Helium-10 or Jungle Scout, whatever your choice is, and then as you're sort of getting through those modules and getting a little bit more comfortable with some of the product ideas that you have, book your coach. The only thing that I wish I had done differently was, because I finished all 4 modules before I selected my coach, was once I got to that point and I was ready to meet with them, I had to wait another 2.5, almost 3 weeks, because that was the first available date that he had in his calendar. And as I was explaining at the end, that's because he only opens up so many, like on his calendar are openings for new students. So he will only take on so many at a time. So once you've chosen him and you become a student of his, then you kind of book a time before you leave the first one that's not going to be on the calendar, because he has spots set up in his calendar for his students. So you might get to see him a little bit sooner. But that first call, it kind of surprised me that I had to wait that long, but that may be different for other coaches. That is the only thing, because I was so excited, right? At that point, I got to that point, I had all my eggs in a basket and I was ready to go, and I had to wait. But what I did during that time was I just kept doing more research and expanding my list and attending these calls every day, which has been, is really great. So very supportive, lots of similar issues that we're all going through. So I would really encourage anybody who's at the beginning. I was there too. I was there like 6 or 7 weeks ago, and coming to these calls every day, even though it seems kind of funny, well, why do I need to talk to somebody every day? You're at a different point in your journey every day too. You're reading your books, you're looking at the modules, you're doing all this stuff, and it's good to keep in touch with people that are doing the same thing or have already completed that. I know I've got lots of beneficial information from other people that are, weeks ahead of me and that are still here. So, it's like pay it forward. I would just tell you to, if you're into module 2, maybe into module 3, start looking for your coach now, because it may be a couple of weeks before you actually get to see them. That would be my only caution.
Great tips. Thank you, Heather. So yeah, there's the benefit, one benefit, which is fairly obvious because now you've been here, you can see that you've progressed, and therefore so is your conversation. You're also offering insights to people who just showed up here like an hour ago, right? So well done. Thank you for that. And I've cited other people as well, where I've asked for, hey, does anybody have an answer to that new person's question, right? So you guys are in the trenches doing it. This is part of the benefit. The other unseen benefit of all this, which Heather didn't mention directly, okay, but it's also something that I've spoken about with people once you've been through your launch strategy session, right, is the whole idea of immersing yourself in the environment of success. This is a huge accelerant. In fact, nothing will accelerate your progress faster than being a part of instead of apart from. A lot of times we show up, and you guys remember back when you were kids, you showed up at a new school, you don't know anybody, right? You're standing in the corner, right? Who do I talk to? Am I going to look stupid? Stuff like that, right? So that's kind of, I'm an outsider. I'd like to be an insider. I mean, it looks nice inside, but I'm uncomfortable. So here, when we understand, that, look, this is actually an elite group, and you can and should be a part of it. This is not, you're not just some bozo who showed up on the internet, right? I mean, this is blue sky. So kind of wear that with a badge of honor, but then with that also comes the responsibility to participate as an insider. Okay. I remember when I showed up at my first, it was a big conference. It was a big conference that I showed up in this company where I just paid, it was something like $25,000 to get started in this marketing business. And there was an event, right? There was an event. And I went to the event, and there was this group of people that were kind of in this sectioned off area, like the velvet ropes, like you go to, I don't know, like a nightclub or a movie theater, or like maybe in casinos. Yeah, I guess that's where I've seen it most recently. Like if I'm at an event in like Las Vegas, they would have the velvet ropes where the people are in line for the buffet, right? So anyway, they had the velvet ropes, not just figuratively, but literally. And there were people behind the velvet ropes that were like the untouchables. These were like the superstars or something. And I was thinking, you know what? That's interesting. So here's all the commoners. Another British term that I like. Here's all the commoners, and here are these few elite people. Okay. Well, how do I get behind the velvet ropes? So there was an implied and actually a demonstrated separation between what I would call the haves and the have-nots. And I think just throughout society, this is reinforced again and again. I wrote about this in my first book. I call it celebrityism, right? Where now you've got the important people who are depicted in the magazine, People magazine, or whatever, celebrity gossip rag you find for those impulse buyers at the grocery store when they're shopping, and like, here's all the magazines, and you should be interested in like who's getting divorced and whose kids are on drugs and so went to rehab. I mean, this is the chaotic life of the stars. You're not a star, okay? But you should want to be like these people, right? So that's an imaginary wall of separation between you and those who are worth writing about. So what I like to do, and part of what we're doing here, is breaking down any imaginary walls between you and Sophie, right? Is Sophie a unicorn or something? Is that what she is? Like a mystical creature that has never occurred before? No, she wasn't born into Amazon, with 1,000 product listings and millions of dollars in profits. No, she decided that she was the future of this, right? And you can make that same decision too. So we're on a bit of a philosophical topic here, but it's kind of like name it and claim it, right? If you've chosen that if you've claimed for yourself, this is your path that you're running on, and you could do anything, right? There's a million ways to survive in the world and to make money, right? We have an infinite variety of them represented on this call right now, right? We got medical professionals, accountants, right? Plumbers, diesel mechanic. I was a diesel mechanic back in the 1900s. Yeah, back in the Stone Age. I know a lot about, or I knew a lot about automotive and diesel technology, right? What does that have to do with this? Well, nothing. And yet here we all are, right? So we got a lot of different backgrounds. The point is that the thing that binds us together as a community of, yes, the haves, not the have-nots, but as the people who are here to make our mark, right? The thing that binds us together is purpose. And I have found that in anything I've done where I've made huge progress in my life, like big gains, I haven't done it alone. So I'm leaning on this topic a little bit here because Heather just brought it up for me. Thank you again, Heather. I haven't done it alone. It's always come through the catalyst of another person or people. Think about 12-step fellowships, right? I know some of you have experience with that as well. So here is the person who's got an alcohol and drug issue and what have you, right? Chemical dependency, and the whole psychological aspect of addiction, which is grueling. It's rough stuff, right? And so now they go to, let's say, a meeting where they meet others who have arrested that condition, okay, and now can talk about, what's going on in their lives, and, oh, I'm not unique. Oh, I'm not the only one, right? Others understand me. That's a big part of that healing process and that therapeutic process, right? Is not doing this alone. And a lot of times people think, well, I'm going to go do online business, and so I'm going to be staring at a computer screen all day being alone. A lot of people stay in their jobs, not because they enjoy what they're getting paid, because they're just getting paid what the job is worth, not what they're worth, okay? But they stay in their jobs because of the social aspect of it, right? I get to hang out and talk to Bob at the water cooler. That's part of their pay here, psychological pay, okay? So when we think about, endeavoring into this grand new world of online business and e-commerce, number one, don't do it alone. Okay, hence the coaches and everything that Heather was just talking about. Okay, and as much, I'll tell you right now, as much access as you can get to people like Sophie and Christine and Lisa and some of these people who, when you're kind of looking up the mountain, it looks like they've arrived. Nobody's arrived, by the way. Okay, we're all still doing our thing, right? But they're a lot further up the mountain than you are, right? The more access you can get to them, the better. And I will tell you, I would gladly, thinking back to how I got my start in online business and all this, 25 grand, yeah, pay quadruple that for what I now know. In fact, I have a lot more than quadruple that. I've invested about $300,000 into my own education after leaving, government schools and whatever. And it's maybe a lot more than $300,000. Okay. So the point is that don't try to do it alone, and don't think that you're just going to be staring at a computer screen all day. I'm saying this directly to our brand new members, of which there are legion, right? We've got so many new members here. Okay. You're part of a group now. And yes, there'll be confusions, there'll be problems to overcome, barriers to overtake. Fine. Great. You chose this, right? So it's kind of like the old saying, choose your problems. I'll tell you a problem you're going to have when you start making a lot of money. Here, think of it like this. Think of your tax bill. Oh my goodness. I remember looking when I first started making, considerable income as an entrepreneur. Of course, there's a lot of tax benefits too, right? Because that's the game. You didn't ask for the game. You were born into the game, but that's the game we're playing here. So it's called taxation. And so, there's a lot of write-offs, but at the same time, you could pay more money in a quarter than most people pay in a couple of years, right? So just consider that. That's a new problem you get to have. Okay, great. I'll tell you a problem that you don't have is asking the boss when you could take a couple of days off to be with your kid. That's a problem you don't have, right? Pick your problems. So hopefully I've made a point here today. I see we also have our chat roll blowing up. And Nina, thank you for helping with the mystery John. There was two John Lavettias in here. I was like, which one? Well, the real John, please step forward. So we got a bunch of stuff in the chat roll. I'm going to yield the floor at first to Isaac. Isaac, you've got your hand raised if you'd like to come out here and ask your question or whatever's going on with you. Isaac Cobb.
Hey,
There it is.
I apologize in advance if I'm breaking up. It always happens on this call, but
Sound good to me, man. That's a slick photo you got there too. Looking sharp.
thank you. So I was about the coaching thing. The perspective that I took when I chose my coach was I read every profile. I took the time out to read every profile, and then I wanted to see the person that I connected to the most, that resonated with me the most. And of course, I took time zone in consideration, but the thing that I wanted that was a person that had just made it. I wasn't looking for the person that's already selling 7 figures. I want somebody that just made it because they're still kind of close to where I am. And I wanted to kind of get that perspective. And I chose Larry Narvaez, and he is amazing. So if you haven't talked to him, he's very down to earth, and he has got some great product ideas, and he helped me with fleshing out a couple of mine as well. So I just wanted to give him a shout out. He's a great guy.
Fantastic. Well done. Yeah, these people are here for you, and they want you to win. So thank you for that perspective, Isaac. Well done. All right. So I'm looking at the chat roll here. I'm done with my spiel. Anybody who'd like to talk while I read questions and see if we can come up with answers, which you guys may have already answered in the chat. I see David, Rupesh, Tolu. Anybody want to talk? Go ahead.
Hello, John.
Yeah, we got Tolu.
Yes, thank you. I just want to clarify about this, the display name in your Amazon seller account.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between this display name, your brand, and your store name, please?
The brand and the store would be one and the same.
Okay, the brand and the store name is the same.
Yeah, so it's like Tolu's Trinkets is the brand, and the seller and the store is Tolu's Trinkets, right? So yeah, I don't understand what would be the difference there.
Then because they're on the account there and is asking for storefront link. So what do you put in that place? The storefront link.
Oh,
the storefront link. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it would be something catchy that you put in there, right? So something to do with the brand name.
Or it's not a link like a website or something like that.
No, if anybody else has a more accurate mental picture of what Tolu's asking, if you could help me. But I think we're just talking about routing people into your
as you load up products, you will actually create your own sort of store on Amazon that has the different products, and if somebody clicked on it, it would go out to the listing. But I think I left that blank on mine, and I got verified because I don't have I think what they're looking for there is a website, like an actual domain that you would use to go out, like go beyond sort of Amazon, where you have a prettier array, whatever. And I have my domain name and stuff, but I don't have my website created or anything like that. I got it so I could get my email address. That was my business name. But I left that blank when I filled out my seller form, and I didn't have any problems.
Yeah, I left it blank too, but because I wanted to change, because when I opened the account some days ago, I didn't put the good brand name that I wanted, so I wanted to change it, but it's not asking me to put the the display name and the store name, and it wouldn't go further.
Yeah, like I have a store name, but if they're looking for a link, they're looking for a domain. And I had the store name, but I did not give them a store link because even though I have the domain name, like whatever it is, .com and .ca, I didn't put it there because there's nothing there. They get a 404. So I didn't want to give them the impression that I have this, but I haven't, it's defunct or something. So.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And Tolu, you can add website. Once you've got a domain set up with a website, 80% of Amazon sellers also sell off platform. So that's a good thing, right? In fact, that's a really good thing. Now, of course, you're getting into web design and branding and all that, which is, it's a whole different, field. In fact, it's a field that I'm swimming in, right? That's a lot of what we do with other companies that I run. So yeah, but that's for now. I think you're fine just with your brand name. Does that help, Tolu?
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
David wanted to talk.
John, great content as ever. Right, I've got a challenge for you all. Hopefully somebody can help. I tried to set up a seller account on Saturday, and I got to the second page and it's asking you for your date of birth, etc. It also asks for your country of birth. Now, the country of birth where I was born isn't listed, and I cannot progress the application as a result of that.
David, I had that experience, the same thing. I had that experience, the same thing. So I'm based in UK. It wouldn't let me go further. I just put UK. But when I now had my interview with the, what is it called? There will be somebody that will call you from the web, verification, identification or something like that. And I told him, I said, where I was born is not listed on your Amazon something. But I have to choose UK because he said it's okay.
Okay, so that didn't count against you. That's good to know. I was worried about choosing the UK and it not tallying with my passport. So I think I'll just go ahead and do that in that case. And you have an account set up already now, do you?
Yes, I have. Yeah, and
Super.
I have it. Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you for that, Tolu.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you, David. Where were you born? Antarctica?
Kenya.
The market's not doing so good in Antarctica right now. Actually, a bit of trivia for you all. Okay, and you already know the answer. But what continent has the highest average IQ? And it's Antarctica, because there's only like 20 people there, and they're all like doctors and scientists and stuff. So anyway, Antarctica, highest average IQ on planet Earth. They just don't buy anything. Okay. Let's see here. Rupesh, you had a question? Rupesh?
Not at the moment, John. I'm just taking it all in.
Oh, very good. Okay, so you're unmuted, so I want to go ahead and...
I've got a question, John.
Yes, come on out. Liz.
Hello, John. Question about where do I set up my Amazon account? It seems like the main focus is towards the US. I'm based in the UK. Mm-hmm. Do I open a UK account first to get started and then progress onto US markets, or what? Right.
So this is a question that comes up like once or twice a week. And yes, you're going to create your Amazon seller account in the UK.
Okay.
And you're definitely going to choose the United States as one of your markets that you're selling into.
All right. Okay.
Right. So anybody have any other details on that? And Liz, welcome. All right. So basically that's it. So where you exist is where you exist. Okay. But then there's the United States as the largest consumer market in the world. And then there's the UK and Australia and whatever else. Okay. Japan. Yeah. Okay. But definitely, yeah, you're on the right track with that.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. Carol Ann?
Yeah, going back to the Amazon seller account. So you have to have a web page and a domain name before you can fill out the form?
No, that's what Heather was just saying, that she's got a business email address that she uses.
Okay.
So info@heathershuggables.com or whatever it is. Okay. You guys notice how I, Tolu's Trinkets, Heather's Huggables, I always just take the first letter and, whatever. But then to actually put a website there, then you need hosting and web design and all that, DNS servers. So, yeah, but could you do that later? Yeah, sure you could. Thank you, Carol.
John?
Yes.
It's Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, from the UK.
Well, welcome.
I set up my Amazon sellers account through my Amazon buyers account. Is that the wrong thing to do? Should I have done that separately?
You mean same email address?
I went into my buyers account, my normal Amazon account, and it had tabs there that you could have opened a seller's account.
Okay.
So I've opened a seller's account via my buyer's account. So I now have both. But I set it up as an individual because I hadn't had my company set up by Company's House yet. But I
Right.
intend to change that now. Someone will be calling me in a week's time, and I intend to change that.
Okay. That was what we
Can I-
kind of started with. There was some talk over in the Australian office about people maybe rushing into setting up personal accounts, and then, oh, now I want to change it. Now maybe there's problems later. So I'm not Amazon. I can't advise on that. There is the updated seller guidelines for setting up accounts and stuff like that. You can have those documents, right, Michelle?
Yeah.
Okay. You may be fine right where you're at right now. So
Okay.
okay, I know the vast majority of people set up their LTD in the UK, Company's House, right? And then
Yeah,
they
I've
go
done that
ahead-
now. Yeah.
Right, and then they proceed with the sort of seller's account that they want moving forward. Okay.
Okay, but can you do it via your buyer's account? Because I have an Amazon account as a buyer, and I just did it via that account. I didn't.
Apparently
do it
you can. You
by a
just did.
separate route. Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently
okay.
you can.
All right. Thank you, John.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, so US04web.zoom.us. Would you like to come out? No. So that's the fourth time you've raised your hand. I'm going to put it down one more time. And if you raise your hand again, please be prepared to talk. Edward has his hand raised. Edward?
Question for you. So, like these books and stuff you talk about buying, we can count that off too as an expense for our company as well, correct?
I'm not a tax advisor. I could tell you in my case, I've got an accountant.
With that thousands you were saying, right? You've used that to, hope you've counted all that as against
yeah,
expenses?
I can't give you legal or tax advice, but I can tell you that my accountant, like right now, I'm sitting in an office, which is in my domicile. And this is one of two offices in my domicile. And this portion of that payment is office space. So that's valid expense. So is the $3,000
would it
computer
be-
I'm talking to you on now. So is the internet service that I'm using. So is my iPhone, et cetera, et cetera.
Wise of me before I purchase the books and stuff to do that in a separate, different account than my personal account on Amazon to keep those things kind of straight.
You're
Probably.
talking about spending $50 on books. No, I wouldn't be too concerned with that. You can also, after the fact, say, look, this receipt is a business expense. I had to pay for education. So, yeah. Ultimately, yeah, you'll have business accounts, you'll have personal accounts. And I'm not an accountant. In fact, I dread accounting. It's like kryptonite to me. So I dare not give you too much of my insights, Ed, lest I lead you astray. Okay, so I can just tell you that we pay an accountant to do that stuff. Okay.
Kind of get some kind of ideas because I just realized that the course we're paying for here, I'm eligible to count that off.
I wouldn't doubt.
Starting to get my
that.
mindset into this new idea of being a business owner and what you can and can't write off. So
Yeah,
or at
I
least
wouldn't.
questions to ask your accountant for what you can and can't write off. Let's put it that way. Keep you on
Yeah.
your clear, John.
Well, let me put it to you this way. Let's say that you ran, and this is a completely distant example from what we're doing here, but let's say that you were running a YouTube channel, and you were like a golf pro, let's say, for example, and you just really like golf, right? You tend to buy a lot of golf stuff, and you review the golf stuff on the YouTube channel. Look, ladies and gentlemen, here's the clubs that I just spent $1,000 on. Now watch me hit the ball, and look, here's what I think of the club. Is that a commercial endeavor? Yeah. You're doing that for the sake of gaining, ad revenue, Google, YouTube ad, clicky, right? Okay. You're a golf pro now. There's that, right? So that's just one example.
So you spend a golf club should be written off then.
I would think so. I would think so. I mean, you're going through the pain of having to review these golf clubs for the sake of the public. Now, you only made $5 on advertising and the clubs cost you $1,000. Oh man, I suck at doing business. I suck at this. Right? Okay.
Gotcha. Thank you.
There's that. Okay. So I see a bunch of hands raised now, and including a physical hand from Ernestine, who is way blurry. Hi, Ernestine. I see blurriness. Are you an angel? Are you got all this light behind you and it's blurry? I'm like, here comes
That's
Ernestine.
right.
Right.
Sorry about that. I just have a quick question I'd like to ask you, John, about the coaches. I thought that I would be able to select and schedule my own coaching sessions.
Yes.
And I received an email around Thursday or Friday scheduling 9 consecutive coaching sessions beginning today. And the thing of it is the sessions conflict with this meeting.
They are for this meeting.
It is this meeting, I think. It's not
It
for your
is.
coaching
It's for this
session.
Just
meeting.
put them on
Yeah.
your calendar because it has the consistent link in it, and that's all
Yeah.
they're for.
Yeah.
Oh,
Coaching
I
call
thought
you do
it was
yourself.
two separate. Okay. So
Sorry about that, Ernestine. We're working on getting that system tweaked because right now people are getting redundant emails saying come to the call. It's not a coaching call. It's the Daily Success Call. Who is Isaac Sands? Who is John Lavenia? What planet am I on? All right, so we're getting all that fixed.
So I don't have a coach yet. Is that it?
No.
The person that sent me the mail and said I have 9 coaching sessions is really not my coach.
We're gonna get that all handled. Thank you,
I
Ernest.
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Hey,
And-
Nick has been trying to talk here for a bit. Nick,
Hey, can I just address Ernestine really quick and
You
let
can.
her
I would appreciate
let
it.
her know. Ernestine, you will be the one picking your own coach. Nobody will
Thank
pick that
you.
for you. That's up to you, okay?
Thank you. Okay.
very good. Nick has the floor. Nick, or not? There goes Nick. Okay, so we got Lois and Dawn and Alex all have their hand. Lois is unmuted. Lois and Stephen. Lois and Stephen.
Hi there. I just want, well, firstly, echo the accountancy thing. We recently switched accountants from a can't do accountant to a can do accountant. So having an accountant isn't just about someone who can punch a load of numbers into a spreadsheet. The accountant we were hearing lots of things you could do, you could offset this, you could offset that, and he kept on saying no. So we just switched into one who said you can, and so now saving us lots of money, which is good. And likewise, our business basically pays for our hobby equipment. We do reenactments, so buying a sword or a set of armor or something like that is a legitimate business expense, which is not. It's our golf clubs. But my question is, I saw Jan's on the phone. I spoke to Jan just before we came onto this one. She said it was all right, and the whole limited company thing was being spoken about. So I thought I'd ask that we have an existing company, as I said, doing school visits, and our accountant suggested just using that limited company to save on costs to set up on Amazon, and then as and when things pick up, then and the profit minimizes the expense, then to switch the account and to set up a new limited company. Is that sensible? It's not going to cause any problems further on.
If I'm
Louise,
understanding what you're
yeah.
saying, it sounds exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right. That's what I did too.
Okay, super.
Very good. Thank you. Good tips there. Nick, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Very good. I was calling you out before and then you vanished. Did you want to speak, sir?
I'm for me personally, I'm just having I'm on module 3. The right product, and my confusion is that Sophie talks about Alibaba, but my concern is being here in the United States, the costs from Chinese products is almost double from what I've been researching. The cost of the product itself, the shipping's twice as much, and it doesn't seem worth it. So finding a product in the US right now with everything that's going on has been quite difficult to get someone on the phone. You understand what I'm saying? Because all these factories nobody's there. Everybody's in quarantine.
Okay.
So do you have any suggestions on like the right way to start finding this first product?
Mm-hmm. We've got a spreadsheet that Bernadette was kind enough to share with the group. Does anybody have that spreadsheet, or is Bernadette here? That spreadsheet? Because China is not the only answer. In fact, I would say right now, Nick, it is definitely not. Okay, so there's lots of ways to source products, and you're in module 3 now, you say?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so does anybody have quick access to that spreadsheet? Because Bernadette there we go. Isaac Cobb, thank you, Isaac. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go paste that. So you see that in the chat?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay.
sir.
So right there, let's go and look and see what that is. Week planning template. No. So is that the week?
It won't open.
That's a different thing. That's the week planning template. Is anybody? Bernadette's websites. All right. So there it is. It's actually in. Click to download. It's actually a file in Zoom right now. You see that in the chat?
Yes, sir.
Very good. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Leah and Stuart are on the ball. I'm going to go ahead and throw that in my Dropbox too, so I've got that handy. Thank you, guys. All right. And Nick, you know what? Product selection is where the rubber meets the road with all this, says Sophie, not me, says Sophie. And so that is the never-ending quest. Now, I will tell you that Sophie listed about 140 products in her first year. They weren't all winners, okay? They weren't all losers either. And then she wound up selling that first brand that she developed and built up, which was the tea bags from Nepal and all this, for 1.2 million. So yeah, there's definitely some hit and miss in the beginning. We're not just throwing money in the air though. These are all calculated risks based on the research you do via Helium 10 or Jungle Scout, right? And looking historically what sells, and can you do it? Can you create a point of differentiation in the marketplace, maybe even to fetch additional money? Certainly tea has been done before Sophie showed up on planet Earth, right? And that has nothing to do with China, by the way. Okay, so all the tea in China, I know that's an interesting thing, but now we're talking about some of the tea in Nepal, different proposition. Okay, so once you get with an Amazon coach, and I'm going to suggest, Nick, and this is for everyone who's getting to the point where Nick is now. It's like he's ready to do something here with this. Okay, great. Well, let's get with an Amazon coach. Once you're through your first 4 modules, you're going to present at least 5 products, and now they're going to really dig in with you on the right and the wrong, the viability or non-viability of those initial selections. Okay.
Roger that. Okay.
Yeah. Good news, Nick, is that you're not spending any money on any of this stuff, right? It's all dry practice at this point.
Right. And I get that. It's just like I said, the concern of just the U.S. market right now seems very anti-buying Chinese products just because of this whole quarantine. And now here, at least in the southern part of the United States, everybody wants to buy American products. And I've been trying to call manufacturers and I get no response, or the phone just rings and leave a voicemail, and there's just until states start opening back up, it's like a really slow process.
Yeah. Well, the timing of that is just what it is. But states opening back up is imminent. I heard Georgia is going live now with some stuff. Texas. Here in Arizona, it's pretty much business as usual. I mean, we're not sitting down in restaurants, and
right.
All that. But I think that's imminent. So
okay.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you for being here. We got Dawn and Alex unmuted and hands raised and everything. So let's go with Dawn real quick.
Hi, just a quick question.
Hey, Dawn.
I've heard everybody talking about the modules 1 to 4, getting their business set up with Amazon, etc., etc. Nobody's mentioning the videos that you do with your accountability rep 1 to 6.
Oh, Jetstream.
Yes, Jetstream.
Yeah, your accountability rep will.
I've done it. But I'm just wondering that. I'm just kind of thinking, how come no one else seems to be doing it?
Oh yeah, people do it. Oh yeah. Right now, there's a lot of questions from new people about these logistical things. But yes, I would say as you're going through your first 4 modules, definitely be in close communication with your accountability rep and go through the Jetstream process. There's something really nice
awesome.
for you at the end. When you get through that.
It is. I've loved it.
Yes. Well, it's because you're awesome, Dawn.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right back at
Now,
you.
now we know. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's me.
You get some nice Easter eggs at the end. Very good. Thank you, Dawn. So Jetstream. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good stuff. And your accountability
Awesome
rep.
stuff in your head up here.
Yeah. Why do you think
As
I'm so
a rich
happy all
dad,
the
poor
time?
dad in here.
Yeah, Dawn. You know what? That's why. I mean, look, we've got problems in life. We've got problems. Okay, well, guess what? We can also do something about it. Yes, something can be done about it. And
Absolutely.
it's all, yeah. Yep. So thank you for being here. And you kind of brought us back to the reason why we do this whole forum every day anyway, is because it's about who's doing it. It's not so much about, how do I set up the accounting? Although sometimes that's where the conversation goes. And I want to make sure people feel full confident that they're on the right path with stuff, because confusion sucks. Confusion is not profitable. Alex has the floor. Alex, come on out.
Hi, sorry, I'm going back to setting up seller accounts only because everyone's talking about it today. It's my question is about the utility bill with the right name on it. So I have a really transient lifestyle, which is kind of why I want to do this business. So I move around a lot, and I'm going to use my parents' address as my setting up my limited company, because that's where all my bank goes, that's where everything goes. But obviously I'm not on their utility bills, and I almost definitely wouldn't have a limited company utility bill there. So has everybody actually had to have their limited company name on their utility bill for setting up? Or can it be your personal name? Or does it just have to be a utility bill at that address?
Alex, are you in UK?
Yeah.
They didn't ask for the utility bill. They only asked for your passport and your bank statement.
Or your credit card statement, long as it comes in your name at the address that you, like your parents' address. Do you receive mail there?
Yeah, everything goes there.
So I use my credit card statement. It comes in my name. Most of my utility bills are in my husband's name, but my credit card, it comes in my name at the address I put on. That's what they're looking for. They want to connect you with your address.
Okay, perfect. Great. Thank you so much. I can sleep tonight now.
Very good. Thank you, Alex. All right, we're going to take one more, then we got to wrap up. Julia. Hey, Julia.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. So I opened the Jetstream and saw the first video, and then it asked for a questionnaire. And I was wondering if we are ready for that yet. Is Jetstream something you do early on? I didn't want to prematurely go there because we haven't set up our seller account yet.
Oh, yeah. You're ready.
You're ready. Okay, we're ready.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Yeah, you got it. All right. Any last burning desires? You got to ask a question, or you're going to spontaneously combust?
Hello, John. I just want to respond back to Nick's question about communicating with the suppliers. Because I've contacted some suppliers in Indian, Thailand, and in American. The best way for you is to email them, and they will get back to you ASAP.
Okay.
Just email them.
I'll take that in advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tolu. Okay, so let's see here. Yes, we can leave the room open. We've got yes. What was that? Okay, nothing. Great. So
who do we get?
Evelyn.
From,
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
the
Evelyn.
module stuff that we're supposed to get from our? What's the module stuff that we're supposed to get from our accountability rep?
Your accountability rep is going to route you through Jetstream.
Our accountability
Yes.
rep, the module from Jetstream.
There's so
I don't have it.
I'm sorry, we're getting crosstalk on top of each other. So Evelyn, in answer to, I think it's your question, your accountability rep will get you access to various stages of Jetstream, which is different and distinct from the core training of Blue Sky, Navigator, and all the academy work that you've got. So that's your accountability rep, and that's over your first few weeks. Okay. Very good.
John, before we leave.
Connection on Evelyn's
Thank you.
thing. You're welcome, Evelyn. I hope that answers your question. Your internet service is suffering greatly. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to wrap up the live stream. Thank you guys for being here. We'll be back tomorrow with more fun topics. In the meantime, I'm going to leave this room open for those of you who want to do the meeting after the meeting. Thanks, you guys, for being here. See you tomorrow.
Bye, John. Bye, John.